So thank you all for being here tonight. I feel so honored to be able to talk about this awesome guy who just loves to make people laugh and smile all over America, and who has made the 2013 Time Magazine's Top 100 People, Jimmy Fallon. Woo! So, according to CBS, Jimmy Fallon has always been a character. In 8th grade, his teacher decided that he was going to take over David Letterman's late night one day. And not only did he do that, but he exceeded it, and he became the Tonight Show host. So Jimmy Fallon was a comedian from the beginning, as we can tell from his 8th grade teacher's quote about him. He built himself up from nothing, and he's now one of the most successful comedians in America. I know there's a few, I can remember many nights whenever my family and I would gather around, and I'm sure y'all know too, just watching Jimmy Fallon and seeing him light up the screen and laughing along with him and his jokes and his impressions. But to begin, Jimmy Fallon did not plan on being a comedian at first. He grew up loving SNL and watching SNL late night all the time, every night. But according to the Notable Names database, at 17 years old, he won the Best of Night award doing a comedy talk show. He loved doing stand-up, and so throughout college, at the College of St. Rose in Albany, he would do that on the weekends sometimes, but his focus, his major, according to Vulture.com, was communications. Similar to comedy, but not quite there. And the only way Jimmy could do, he quit right before graduation. Picked up everything and moved to LA to do comedy talk shows. After a few years of touring with them, he was able to get an audition with SNL in New York and began his lifelong journey of becoming a comedian after a few trials. According to biography.com, he totally bombed his first audition at SNL. His dream came true and he just kind of threw it away. So he had to travel another year with a comedy troupe and somehow got another audition. He blew them away with his Adam Sandler and John Travolta impressions. According to New York Magazine, he just ate up this SNL life. He started out doing impressions, and then he moved into characters and skits, and he ended up doing a really famous one alongside Tina Fey called The Weekend Update, where people just take news and what's going on every day, and they make fun of it and add to it and do parodies of it. A very famous part of SNL. According to biography.com, in 2004, after Jimmy was successfully on SNL for 6 years, he was asked what he was going to do next, and he said, I guess I'll act. And so he starred alongside Drew Barrymore in Fever Pitch, which is a romantic comedy alongside the game of baseball. And then he starred, according to IMDb.com, he starred in Factory Girl with Guy Pearce, who we might know better as Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3 as like the mad scientist character. Okay, but late night. How did he go from all of this SNL and moving into late night? Well, he, in New York Magazine, after a few years of not exactly failing at acting, he was finally asked to do late night with Jimmy Fallon in 2008 after Conan O'Brien took over The Tonight Show for a little while. He was able to change the stigma of this boring, bashing politician show late at night into this fun and energizing, youthful activity like SNL every single night. He took shows like Glee and turned them into 6B, which is where the studio was. He took a show, the famous show Lost, and turned it into a playoff as Late, and just made it this youthful thing. And he was quoted saying, it was something dumb to laugh at. So they go, that's funny, and then fall asleep. He just loved to make people laugh and make people smile. He wanted it to be the last thing they did before they fell asleep at night. According to the National Names database in 2014, after Jimmy was on late night for 5 years, he was on The Tonight Show. He was asked to be on The Tonight Show after Jay Leno, which was a huge success. He brought on his skit of thank you notes where he writes silly thank yous to things like the blender for spewing on them in the morning or other things like that. And according to IMDb, he's won multiple Emmys. He's won a Grammy and People's Choice Award. Jimmy Fallon has worked really hard to be where he is now. He's built himself from the ground up, going from making nearly nothing to doing comedy shows every once in a while in LA, to moving back to New York and getting on SNL, one of the most famous comedy acts in America, onto Time Magazine's top 100 people in 2013 list, and he deserves it. There's no one who can make me laugh and my family laugh and a lot of my friends laugh like he does. he's brought so much joy and laughter to people and families across America. And by following his passion of comedy and fulfilling his 8th grade teacher's vision of taking over late night and The Tonight Show, he's shown his genuine character and silliness to all for generations to come.